Walters is back for another season as the official bar of the Nats Chat podcast. Walters is the best spot to go before and after home games, located at the southeast corner of Capitol and N Streets, right across the street from the ballpark.
You just realized that you needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job posts seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people that you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed sponsored jobs, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. How fast is Indeed? Well, in the minute I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/BWN. Just go to Indeed.com/BWN right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/BWN. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Now the 0-1. Fastball looped into shallow left. That's falling. That's a base hit in front of Conine. Coming around third, DeYoung. The throw from Conine is on target. Brantley trying to block the plate, but he can't hold on to the ball. DeYoung scores. Over to third, Young, and into second with an RBI single. And on the throw is Alex Call. And the Nationals lead 3-1. Here's the pitch. Swinging a long drive, straightaway center. Young back, track to the wall, and it is gone. A pinch hit three-run homer for DC's own Matt Mervis is a dagger for DC's Nationals. 7-3 Miami.
He's ready now. The pitch. Breaking ball line drive. Base hit into right field. Out of the reach of Bell, lunging to his right. It scores. Stowers rounding second, heading for third is the speedy Hill. And on at first is Griffin Conine with his second RBI hit of the game. As the Marlins add on another here at the bottom of the eighth, it's Miami 11 and Washington 3.
And welcome to Nats Chat. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. Mark Zuckerman is off for this installment of the podcast, but it is nice to be with you on what was, as of Sunday evening, the number 40 baseball podcast in the country on Apple Podcasts per Raphonic.com. That is a credit to you, so thank you. This podcast recently was fortunate enough to be mentioned on WTOP again. That is a credit to you, so thank you. You on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify can both rate the podcast and write reviews. 5-star ratings are greatly appreciated. Positive reviews are greatly appreciated. These things help us out a lot, so thank you very much for doing them. The Nationals weekend started off in a nice way. Friday night, a 7-4 win at the Miami Marlins in a game in which the Nats overcame a 4-0 six-inning deficit. A come-from-behind win for the Nats in Game 1 of a 3-game series and Game 1 of a 10-game road trip. But then came the rest of the series. Saturday, a 7-6 loss at the Marlins in a game in which the Nats did overcome a 3-0 fourth-inning deficit. But Sunday afternoon, an 11-4 loss at the Marlins in the Nats' worst loss so far in MLB's 2025 regular season, in which the Nats now are 6-9, and the Nats over the weekend put not one but two players on injured lists. The Nats over the weekend were failed by their pitching as much as anything. MacKenzie Gore, he was the Nats starting pitcher for this 11-4 loss at the Marlins on Sunday afternoon. He allowed 4 runs in 6 innings. He gave up 8 hits, which were a double, and 7 singles. He issued 3 walks and a wild pitch. He did record 7 strikeouts. He threw 105 pitches, 64 strikes versus 41 balls. But how about this with Gore's pitch count? So Gore in a perfect bottom of the first through just 9 pitches. Gore in a perfect bottom of the third through just 6 pitches. But Gore over the second, fourth, fifth, and sixth innings totaled 90 pitches. An average of 22.5 pitches per inning. Arguably, MacKenzie Gore's biggest problem is his pitch inefficiency. We have talked about that. Gore for the 2024 regular season ranked dead last among all qualified pitchers in the majors in pitches per inning at 18. he is too talented to be that inefficient. And we on Sunday afternoon saw what he can be from a pitch efficiency standpoint. Again, perfect bottom of the first, a mere 9 pitches. Perfect bottom of the third, a microscopic 6 pitches. But in his other 4 innings, averaged a whopping 22.5 pitches per inning. Some of this, yes, was bad luck. He gave up 7 singles, but this issue of throwing too many pitches has been a problem for a while now. Here was Nats manager Davey Martinez during his postgame session with reporters on Sunday afternoon. And then you hear a follow-up exchange with Nats insider Andrew Golden of the Washington Post.
Yeah, he had some really good innings. The innings that he walked some guys, they scored. He just, when he fell behind, it got longer at bats. But overall, he kept us in the ball game. When he came out of the game, he kept us in the game. So he'll come back out again in 5 days and do it again.
You ever found off a lot of his four-seam fastballs? Is there anything you can do to combat that, or is that just kind of the way the game went?
No, it's just the way the game went. Like I said, when you have counts to 3-2 counts, you just got to attack. Last thing you want to do is walk. They're pretty good about getting to that next pitch and moving the baseball. So, all in all, I thought he threw the ball well.
Well, MacKenzie Gore now in this regular season has made 4 starts. He was really good in starts 1 and 3. He was so-so at best in starts 2 and 4. His ERA is at 3.52, whip 1.26, strikeouts per 9 innings 12.52. That is excellent. But you look at Nats starting pitchers in the Nats losing 2 out of 3 games at the Marlins over the weekend. Nats starting pitchers in this series officially combined to allow 14 runs, 13 earned in 16 2/3 innings. Mitchell Parker, he in the 7-4 win at the Marlins on Friday night, allowed 4 runs, 3 earned in 6 innings. Trevor Williams, he in the 7-6 loss at the Marlins on Saturday, officially allowed 6 runs in 4 2/3 innings. Not a good weekend for the Nats rotation. And not a good weekend for the Nats bullpen, even though the streak did end. It was in the Nats 7-4 win at the Marlins on Friday night that we had 3 Nats relievers combining for 3 scoreless innings, marking the first time in 13 games this regular season that Nats relievers did not allow a single run in a game. But the 7-6 loss at the Marlins on Saturday, 4 Nats relievers officially combined to allow 1 run in 3 1/3 innings. And that final line is misleading because Colin Poche, to the first batter he faced, gave up a 2-out 2-run double by Griffin Conine to the right center field gap in the bottom of the 5th for a 6-3 Marlins lead. And Poche in the bottom of the 6th allowed a run as he issued a 2-out walk of Xavier Edwards and then gave up a 2-out opposite field RBI double by Kyle Stowers off the left center field wall for a 7-4 Marlins lead. And then in this 11-4 loss at the Marlins on Sunday afternoon, 3 Nats relievers combined to allow 7 runs in 2 innings. Jorge Lopez, he allowed 3 runs in 1 inning. He in the bottom of the 7th gave up a pinch 2-out 3-run homer by Matt Mervis on a bomb to center field for a 7-3 Marlins lead. The homer went a projected 411 feet per StatCast, and Lopez then issued a 2-out 4-pitch walk of Griffin Conine. But Matt Mervis, he is a local. He is a product of my high school, in fact. He went to Georgetown Prep High School in North Bethesda, Maryland. We do not say Rockville, Maryland. We say North Bethesda, Maryland. Lucas Sims, a very rough Sunday afternoon for him. He officially allowed 4 runs without recording an out. Sims in the bottom of the 8th faced 5 batters, got no outs. He gave up a 2-run double and an RBI double and issued 3 walks. So Sims threw 26 pitches, just 12 strikes versus 14 balls. And Cole Henry, he officially tossed a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts, but he in the bottom of the 8th gave up a 2-out RBI single by Griffin Conine into right field for an 11-3 Marlins lead. The Nats on Sunday afternoon announced having recalled Henry from AAA Rochester. The Nats took Henry in the 2nd round of the 2020 MLB draft out of LSU. He at one time was a promising starting pitching prospect for the Nats, but he in August 2022 underwent surgery for thoracic outlet syndrome. Now, the Nats recalling Cole Henry from Rochester was the corresponding roster move to them placing reliever Orlando Revolta on the 15-day injured list, retroactive to April 10th, due to a right bicep strain. And, you take a step back, the list of Nats players on injured lists is growing. The biggest injury item of the Nats weekend, they on Saturday afternoon announced having placed shortstop C.J. Abrams on the 10-day injured list with a right hip flexor strain. So you look at Nats players on injured lists right now, Abrams and first base baseman Andres Chaparro are on the 10-day injured list. Starting pitchers Michael Soroka and Cade Cavalli, and relievers Orlando Revolta, Derek Law, and Zach Brixey are on the 15-day injured list. And starting pitchers Josiah Gray and DJ Hers and reliever Mason Thompson are on the 60-day injured list. Now, yes, some of these guys are on these lists due to injuries from last year, or in Cavalli's case, 2 years ago. But the Nats have their fair share of players on injured lists right now. Hey, it's Al Galdi for Window Nation, which is offering another tremendous deal to listeners of the Nats Chat podcast. 4 free windows for every 4 windows that you buy, and you pay nothing until 2027. This offer is good through April 30th, so hurry. Schedule your free estimate at 866-90Nation or windownation.com, and tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast. There's no limit to how much you can save, and if you buy a house full of windows, Window Nation will include a free entry door. Window Nation partners with the top window manufacturers in the nation to build windows to their high-quality specs. Then Window Nation passes the savings on to you. You'll protect your home with some of the best windows that you can buy at a fraction of the price of other brands, and you'll increase the value of your home. 4 free windows for every 4 windows that you buy, and you pay nothing until 2027. The offer is good through April 30th. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com and tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast.
You just realized that you needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job posts seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people that you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed sponsored jobs, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. How fast is Indeed? Well, in the minute I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/BWN. Just go to Indeed.com/BWN right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/BWN. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
I'm excited to tell you about the designs Homage has cooked up for the 2025 MLB season. If you're as baseball obsessed as I am, you'll love the full roster of major league looks from Homage. Amazing comfort and deep cut designs that help fans show off passion for their favorite teams. Homage has a massive selection that tells the story of the greatest sport from its very beginnings. Deep logo history, coast-to-coast stadium tours, and the biggest players from every era. Legends never die at Homage. If you need your new shirt for going to a ball game, Homage has you covered with its most comfortable fan clothing, and it's available for fans of all ages. This year's collection hits dinger after dinger after tater after tater. Fleece, tees, bottoms, and more. And don't forget to check out the new starter jacket lineup, an iconic dugout look you don't want to miss. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die, and these looks go long, period. Check out the Homage MLB collection to find your team's coolest gear.
Take me out to the ball game.
What are you doing?
Did you know DirecTV has the most MLB games?
So, you're singing.
Yeah, they put your favorite teams front and center right when you turn it on. Buy me some cold cuts and flapjacks.
Those aren't even the words.
I'm allergic to peanuts.
Stream DirecTV, home of the most MLB games. Visit DirecTV.com. Claim based on total games offered on sports networks. Availability varies by zip code and package. New customers. Service renews monthly unless you cancel. Choice package required. Restrictions apply.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Pilot, a 1.99% APR on a 2025 Ridgeline, or a 2.99% APR on a 2025 CR-V.
See dealer for financing details.
Now the 2-0. Swing a line drive toward left. This one's going to get down. A base hit fielded by Conan and a bounce. Tearing around third, coming in to score is Rosario. And Paul DeYoung delivers a clutch 2-out single to put the Nationals back in front 2-1.
The number one positive for the Nats in losing 2 out of 3 games at the Marlins over the weekend was the offense, especially from a standpoint of drawing walks. Now, the Nats in this series did not hit for much power beyond Game 1, but the Nats in this series got on base like crazy. The 7-4 win at the Marlins on Friday night, the Nats totaled 7 runs, 9 hits, and 7 walks, so went 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. The 9 hits were 2 home runs, a triple, 2 doubles, and 4 singles. The 7-6 loss at the Marlins on Saturday, the Nats totaled 6 runs on just 7 hits, all of which were singles, but the Nats worked 5 walks, and the Nats went 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. The Nats got to Marlins starting pitcher Sandy Alcantara, 4 runs in 5 2/3 innings on 5 hits and 4 walks. So the Nats against Alcantara registered 13 exit velocities, each of at least 90 miles per hour per StatCast. And the 11-4 loss at the Marlins on Sunday afternoon, the Nats totaled 4 runs, 10 hits, and 8 walks, and went 5 for 17 with runners in scoring position. All 10 of the hits were singles. But how about the walks? The Nats, over the 3 games in this series, drew a staggering 20 walks. The Nats, over their last 4 games now, have drawn a staggering 27 walks. The Nats' plate discipline lately has been outstanding. A big part of this, James Wood, he in the 11-4 loss at the Marlins on Sunday afternoon as the Nats starting left fielder and number 2 batter, 0 for 2, but with 3 walks and a stolen base. Wood, over the 3 games in this series, 3 for 11 with a homer, a double, an infield single, and 4 walks, and he had a stolen base. Alex Call, he has become the new god of walks. For those of you who read the all-time great book Moneyball, in which Kevin Youkilis is referred to as the Greek god of walks, I'm not sure what Alex Call's background is, but he is the new god of walks. Call in the 11-4 loss at the Marlins on Sunday afternoon as the Nats starting right fielder and number 1 batter went 1 for 4 with an RBI single and a walk. He in this series went 3 for 10 with an RBI triple, an RBI single, another single, and 5 walks. Alex Call last regular season, 113 Major League plate appearances, just 12 walks. Alex Call this regular season, 42 Major League plate appearances, 10 walks. He has nearly equaled his walk total for all of last regular season. Now, noticeably not playing in either of the final 2 games of this series was the man who is supposed to be the Nats' number 1 right fielder and a man who is one of the most important Nats players this season, Dylan Cruz. Davey Martinez over the final 2 games of this series did not play Dylan Cruz at all. Cruz for this regular season, 45 plate appearances, OPS of just 272. I get it. He has not been good, but he had been better lately. He has been hitting balls hard, and bottom line, he needs to play. You don't spend a number 2 overall pick in the 2023 MLB draft on an outfielder for him to take a backseat to Alex Call. All due respect to Alex Call. Again, the new god of walks. Nathaniel Lowe, he had a nice series. A Lowe in the 11-4 loss at the Marlins on Sunday afternoon as the Nats starting DH and number 4 batter, 1 for 4 with an RBI single and a walk. A Lowe in the Nats 1-run ninth, a 2-out RBI single into right field to cut the Nats deficit to 11-4. Lowe in the 7-6 loss at the Marlins on Saturday as the Nats starting DH and number 4 batter, 0 for 2, but with a bases-loaded walk, another walk, and an RBI fielder's choice grounder. And Lowe in the 7-4 win at the Marlins on Friday night had perhaps the plate appearance of the season for the Nats so far. He was a late scratch due to illness, but he in the top of the 8th had a pinch, 1-out, bases-loaded, opposite field, 3-run double to left field despite having been down in the count at 1.12. The double concluded a 10-pitch plate appearance in which he fouled off 5 pitches. And Nathaniel Lowe for this regular season is number 3 among all qualified Nats in OPS at 8:39. I also want to mention this. So Keibert Ruiz continues to do well. He in the 7-6 loss at the Marlins on Saturday as the Nats starting catcher and number 3 batter went 3 for 4 with an RBI single and 2 other singles. He in the 11-4 loss at the Marlins on Sunday afternoon as the Nats starting catcher and number 3 batter went 2 for 5 with 2 singles. But also with Ruiz on Sunday afternoon was an inexplicable and inexcusable caught stealing. Ruiz in the top of the 5th had a leadoff first pitch single into right field, but he was thrown out in an attempted steal of third base for the second out with the game tied at 3.
And now the set. Ruiz takes off for third. Pitches high, the throw to third, and he is out at third. Sanoja with a tag on Ruiz, who tries to steal third.
A team's catcher being caught stealing at third base with the game tied at 3 is one of the last things that should ever happen. Kevin Franzen, quote, "Yeah, I don't get it," end quote. That about summed it up for every Nats fan watching that game at that moment. Here was Davey Martinez during his post-game session with reporters on Sunday afternoon on what the heck happened with Keibert Ruiz getting thrown out at third in that attempted steal.
I think he thought it was breaking ball. He thought it was a lot slower. Got through almost a pitch out, so, in that situation right there, he's in scoring position without big boys coming up, and there's no need to run.
No, there's not. Still, Keibert Ruiz is doing well. I don't want to lose sight of that. He, for this regular season, is number 2 among all qualified Nats in OPS at 968. James Wood is number 1, 978. So the Nats do lose 2 out of 3 games at the Marlins. A disappointing weekend for sure, but the Nats are in the midst of a 10-game road trip that still does appear to be pretty manageable. These 3 games at the Marlins, 4 games at the Pittsburgh Pirates, then 3 games at the Colorado Rockies. Here was Davey Martinez during his post-game session with reporters on Sunday afternoon on the Nats losing 2 out of 3 games at the Marlins.
Yeah, a big thing is we just got to forget about it, right? We got to go back. We're going to a new city now, and, we got a tough opponent again in Pittsburgh. They're playing pretty good baseball. They got a good pitcher going tomorrow. Let's come back tomorrow and just go on and 0. Put this one behind us. If we just hit a little bit, things would have been different, So, but we've been hitting, and now we just got to, understand that, when we get those guys on base, is just to try to drive them one, and go from there and get the next guy up there. So, other than today, we played really well. Let's forget about today and come back tomorrow.
All right, next up for the Nats is a 4-game series at the Pirates. Game 1, Monday evening at 6:40. Brad Lord will be the Nats starting pitcher. The Pirates starting pitcher, by the way, will be Paul Skenes. Game 2, Tuesday evening at 6:40. Jake Irvin will be the Nats starting pitcher. Game 3, Wednesday evening at 6:40. Mitchell Parker will be the Nats starting pitcher. Game 4, Thursday afternoon at 12:35. Trevor Williams will be the Nats starting pitcher. You can find us on X at Nats_chat. You can find us on Blue Sky at Nats Chat Podcast. You can email the show, natschatpodcast@gmail.com, including if you would like to sponsor the program. We'd love to have you on board. Hit up the man who runs the podcast, Tim Shover, see what we can do for you. Again, that email address, natschatpodcast@gmail.com. And we have a website that we invite you to check out, natschatpodcast.com, in which you can purchase a Nats Chat Podcast t-shirt. Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. I'm Al Galdi. We thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat Podcast.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Pilot, a 1.99% APR on a 2025 Ridgeline, or a 2.99% APR on a 2025 CR-V.
See dealer for financing details.